Hello, back again a couple of weeks later, and still fat. um, I've been doing a few 5Ks and been going back to the gym about maybe 1 to 2 times a week, just depending on what is available. I'm mainly doing classes that are weightlifting to aid in my muscle shakiness that I still have going on. And it seems to come and go. And I think it's cyclical. I think that it has to do with the amount of progesterone being released in my body. I don't know that for sure. Definitely has to do with thyroid, because muscle weakness is one of the symptoms of having jacked up thyroid, or a thyroid that's not normal. So, anyway, so for the past couple of weeks, I've had a couple of bad days, but mainly good ones. And I've been jotting it down on a little calendar. I'll mark green for good, yellow for and red for bad. And I mean, red for bad has to be like bad for anyone. I had a bad day where I had a very angry episode and followed by a crying episode where I was feeling like pretty damn hopeless. I guess you could call it like when a woman has really bad PMS and her emotions are like just shifting between hour by hour throughout the day, you know? And that's what it was like. It felt like a testosterone rage, is what it felt like for about 10 minutes. It wasn't even that long, but the lasting effects of my rage, which is not normal for me, led to like a sadness and a despair for like a couple hours after that. And then because of that, I was left like, I guess you could say, like feeling sorry for myself the rest of the day. So that was a bad day, and only because of that. And then I had a couple of other days where the anxiousness was building up, and it wasn't even a physical thing, it was more a mental thing where the anxiety was building up physically. Like I could feel it in my body. And then it led to intrusive thoughts, and it led to sleepless nights on a couple of nights. Of course, I keep trying to sleep without the sleeping pill because I don't like depending. Oh, great. The boy clogged the toilet. I don't like sleeping with a sleeping pill. So I'll try like once a week to not sleep with it and then end up pretty much either regretting it or only getting like 4 hours of sleep and still feeling kind of okay. So it depends. Now, I can take a nap during the day for a couple hours, no problem. But when it comes to sleeping more than, like, say, 3 hours on my own, I can't do it. And I seem to recall for the past few years, of course, and there goes the cats fighting. And of course, being on and off antidepressant and birth control. Hold on, they're fighting. Basically, a bunch of things like chemicals still in my system. I would wake up every night at 3 a.m., walk around the house, and kind of check the locks, check everything, check on my son, and then go back to bed around 4. So, waking up in the middle of the night was not abnormal for me. It was almost expected. It was like right on the dot, 3 a.m. And a lot of people go through that, apparently. A lot of people think that it has to do with like supernatural stuff and stuff like that, but I think that it has to just do with the fact that some of us sleep in shifts. Some of us, have like a surge in our chemical release. I don't know, it has to do with circadian rhythm or it has to do with like cortisol release or what, but I think if we're naturally stressed out people, we do sleep in shifts. So, I don't know. I've always had that happen since I've had my son. Prior to having my son, I would sleep all night and sometimes all day. But so moving on, the lingering effects this month were way more minute than previous months, of course. And I do firmly believe that the COVID vaccine does affect your menstrual cycle. And it's not even me having to say that I believe that. It's been proven that getting that COVID vaccine can definitely mess up your thyroid temporarily, not forever. And that in turn will mess with your hormones and mess with your menstrual cycle. I don't know what exactly it'll do to you in your menstrual cycle, but and there's no guarantee that it'll do it either, but it has been reported. So I firmly believe that it messed with mine, and what it did was it just like messed with my hormones to where my cycles got shifted. So with this pattern that I was going through, the several days before a period, I would get extra anxious and stressed and more insomnia. 2 or 3 days into the cycle, it would start to calm down, and I would be okay until the next cycle, which was ovulation. And prior to ovulation, I would get like extra energy, almost like spastic energy, and I could border getting irritated, but it was mainly like, let's go do something kind of energy, you know, like if I kept still, like my hands would shake a little bit, you know. So that's kind of the pattern that I was going through. So when after I got my COVID vaccine, it flipped. I was feeling really anxious energy before a period and very irritated and sleepless nights before ovulation. So this month it flipped back to how it was cycling before. So it's just that this whole thing is just like a whirlwind, and that's why I don't want to introduce and I wouldn't want you guys to introduce more medications and more chemicals that could possibly mess up the healing process that's already going on. So every single doctor has told me exercise and do breathing techniques for the anxiety, especially if you don't want to take any pills. If you want to do this the natural way, if you want your body to heal quicker, and you don't want to introduce any more things into your system, then breathing techniques, mindfulness, meditation, and exercise. Of course, drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Don't drink anything that's a stimulant. Definitely no alcohol, no smoking. And I mean, they didn't say anything about weed, but I have a story about that. And no like added stimulants into you, because stimulants cause inflammation, and inflammation makes all of this worse. Also, the foods you eat can cause inflammation. I think I've said that in previous videos. Red meats, anything like noodles, any kind of like noodles, those are usually complex carbs. Anything packaged or like deli meats, stuff like that. Things that are processed cause inflammation. Things that are dyed cause inflammation. But mainly the big culprit is red meat. That causes inflammation like a mofo. All things to consider and all things to try to help. So I will say that so far, since I think that I got the majority of the symptoms in late February, early March, but since then, I will say that I have not gotten the inflamed joints that hurt super, super, super bad. I have not gotten the breakouts on my neck, back, and chest like the way I got before. It was crazy. It was like 3 different types of pimples. It was insane. It was like welts. I haven't gotten that. I haven't gotten the food aversion. I mean, this thing was like, I couldn't even smell meat without wanting to like puke. I haven't gotten that, obviously. I gained back the weight that I lost. I went down to 158. I'm 168 now. Oh my god. Um and So those things haven't come back. And I have gotten, though, the anxiety. I'll go into the negatives now. I still, of course, have the anxiety. That is like the biggest chief complaint with everybody that's gone through this. The anxiety is the thing that lingers the most. The insomnia, of course. The muscle weakness, I still have. And I don't know if this even has anything to do with what I'm going through, but it is happening, I think, because of inflammation, is the tip of my tongue and the inner part of my lips go numb on occasion. It's not like a full-on numb. It's kind of like you're already coming off of the local anesthetic when you go to the dentist. That's what it feels like a compressed nerve, sort of. So that's what's lingering. And because of those things, I'm not going to say I'm not able, but I don't have the energy to work out in the consistency that I did before. I I've been, like I said, I'm working out maybe like a quarter of the week when I need to be working out all week. I haven't done a good job of changing my diet. I'm still eating crap food, which is not helping my case. And it's just nice to eat it. I went like several months without being able to eat crap food, and now I'm able to eat it. So I'm like really enjoying it. But I'm still motivated, and I know that I'm way more healed than I was. I know that, things are going to get better. I know that things are going to start to pick up and progress. And I'm going to actually call my doctor today to look and see if they have test results from about a week and a half ago. And they tested my thyroid, tested my blood, my general blood panel, and tested me for ANA, which is autoimmune. Because if I'm going to have a problem, I want to know about it so that I can know how to move on with my life having it. I mean, we have autoimmune that runs in the family, and this is the dumbest thing ever. And I want to know how to handle it. So that's what the doctor at the ER told me about a month and a half, 2 months ago. He said, "You're COVID negative." He's like, "You don't seem to have anything going on in your blood." He's like, "So I would definitely look into autoimmune." And that's because I didn't tell him that I was having a thyroid issue, which I already knew. So, ooh, it's raining. Check it out. Pretty. Okay, so that's my check-in for the last couple of weeks of May. Had about 4 bad days. Maybe about 7 mediocre ones, and the rest were good. What I consider good. Days in which there was progress. And I will say that I'm only speaking on behalf of having the anxiety. There are women out there that have the depression. I don't know how to express any kind of help for you guys other than see who you have to see. If you have to see a therapist, see a therapist. If you have to investigate, by all means do it. If you have the funds to do it. I know that every state is different and every part of the world is different. Medical coverage might be not as easily accessible, but the most common themes with this Mirena withdrawal are that it basically overruns your hormones, and your hormones control a lot. So it can control your metabolism, it can control your cycles, your menstrual cycles, and it can control your emotions, your appetite, your energy levels, your psychological well-being. So it controls a lot. And if you feel like you've been having aches and pains, now I'm not a doctor, but if you feel like you've been having like joint aches and pains or muscle aches and pains, or your periods have gotten longer, or most of the time they stop, but you're breaking out more, you feel depressed, anxiety, what else? You're unmotivated, you're getting angrier quicker. I mean, it could be because of your birth control. That's what it does. It controls your hormones. So it has been linked, and it has been correlated with like heart palpitations, some women even stroke, some, like I said, thyroid, and I'm not sure about diabetes. I don't think I've heard anything about diabetes, but it messes with a lot. So I know that this is probably the only option for some of you, and I know that every person's case is different, but in my case, I had the option to take it out and be okay. I'm pretty sure there are other methods of birth control for you that are not going to just destroy your body. So something to consider. Look into this book called, or this book from Jolene Brighton. It's like Life After the Pill, or something about the pill. But I'm sorry, that's another thing. My memory is shot. But look up Jolene Brighton, and she talks all about what birth control can do to your body, and she gives you remedies as far as supplements and what to eat and how to practice mindfulness, who to talk to as far as a physician, and natural doctors like nutritionists and functioning medicine doctors. But all of that info can help you to detox and to heal. Let me tell you something first, though. Don't go doing a detox until you know exactly what you're working with. Don't go and start taking these pills from all these people that claim to have a remedy until you know what's going on in your body first. Because you might actually have a condition that you don't know about, and it could be temporary, it could be permanent, and you're popping these pills that are not going to help that condition. So I'm not saying don't take their help. I'm just saying go to a physician and do a blood panel, check to see if you're okay, check your heart, check your lungs, check your nerves, check your vitamin levels, your mineral levels, check your sugar, check everything before you go pop in pills you don't know about. Okay? I'm just telling you that as a precautionary warning before you could potentially hurt yourself, because if you take something that your body doesn't need, then likely, nothing will probably happen. With vitamins and minerals, you might just expel it. You might get a headache, stomach ache, diarrhea, whatever. But there's also the off chance that it could trigger something. So I'm not trying to make you more paranoid. I'm just trying to make you aware. Go do a blood panel first. Go talk to a physician first before you start talking to a naturopathic or a nutritionist. And if everything checks out, everything's okay, then talk to the naturopathic doctor from there and tell them your results. And make sure that they're accredited, and make sure that they have good reviews. Make sure that you're not just going to some Joe Schmo just because you Google search somebody and they were the first one that popped up. Make sure that they have lots of clients, and even more specifically, maybe even clients that have your same issues. Okay? Natural is good, is the way to go. But you need to know what you're working with first. Okay? So I just want to tell you about that. See, because I was going to go that route too, from a very trusted person, but with talking to my doctor first, he was like, you actually don't need to do that because, your levels are fine, and all you need to basically do is just eat healthy and take the supplements that you're already taking. You don't need to go and take that extra route because your body's already on the path to healing. It says so in your blood work. That's just an added expense that I know you don't have the funds for. So, you don't have to take that route. You can if you want to, but don't have to take that route. So I opted out of taking that route. If I want to talk to a nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor, I will, simply for the weight loss, But as far as balancing out hormones and stuff, my personal hormones are already balanced out. And my thyroid is within normal range. So we're just going to try to get it to what I consider my normal. And every month it's been getting better. So every month that passes, it's healing itself. So I'm hoping that, within another couple of months, it'll be back to normal levels. And this will be a distant and horrific memory that I will not ever want to think about again. Because it's been a process. So anyway, sorry for this long ass video, but I'm trying to cover a lot in a little amount of time. Just want to give you those sources. I'll post the link to her book in the description box. And you should definitely check it out. There's a Kindle version. You don't have to buy it and wait for the book. And of course she has a website, and of course she sells stuff. That's her business. That's what she does. She also has an Instagram. And definitely check it out. Also, go on YouTube and search other people that have been through this. They might be experiencing something closer to what you're experiencing. Because a lot of women are reporting depression. But you know what else? A lot of women are also not even talking about it a couple of months later because they got over it. So there's your hope right there. Women are getting over this all over the place all the time. Not just with Mirena, but with birth control pill, with the shot, with different IUDs, everything. They're getting over it. They're healing. They are, and you can too. That's what our body does. So, take care of you. That's the most important thing. Trust your gut. Whatever your gut is telling you, do that. I mean, the doctor can know you so far, but you know your body better. So that would be my advice. And I'm glad that I trusted my instinct, or else I wouldn't know what I know. And sometimes you just got to help yourself. So I'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching.